Hey everybody, Chris again, and I'm going over the picks for Indiana Grand on Wednesday, August 25th, 2021. And again, if you want to follow my picks at Indiana or at any other track that I cover, you can follow me on Twitter at handicappingT3 or online at bettingnews.com. In fact, Wednesday's card at Indiana Grand, my write up on that is up on the site. So if you want to get a lot of this information in written format, you can check out my article at bettingnews.com. It's the Indiana Grand article for Wednesday. So let's jump right into things here. First of all, just a reminder that post times have changed for the next 2 days. Wednesday and Thursday will both have first post at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central, and that is to deal with the heat that's going through Indiana. So it'll be interesting to see if that impacts. I've noted in a couple of my previous videos that speed has not been holding. Perhaps that's because of the heat. Maybe the horses are getting tired, so maybe the 9 o'clock start time will allow that early speed to be better again. Honestly, it's going to be a little bit of a guessing game. They're still going to be running the later races at the hottest point of the day, so I'm not sure how much that's going to impact the later races. But maybe in the early races, I'm going to be more forgiving of those front runners. But if it's enough heat for them to change it to the morning, it's probably not going to be that significant, even at that time for them to hold on at the front. So let's take a look at how I did on Monday or on Tuesday. I apologize. Overall, I strung together a few more things, but still not an overall very productive day. I had a couple of winners here, but they were further down the board. Ideally, I like to see a lot more, obviously, coming from the A category. Missed a couple races, 3 and 4, knocked me out of a lot of horizontals. Came back in the fifth, won narrowly with kind of a scary finish there from the one, and then knew this race was wide open by virtue of not having any A horses. Just couldn't land on the right one. Probably should have gone a little deeper there. Came back, was singled largely through the one in this race. I did have a little bit of a saver on the two. The one ended up winning in that race as well. And then this last race was kind of goofy. This last race was sorry, 7 is the one where the horse barely held on. In race 5, I think that was the one where the horse pulled away on the rail on the turf. Race 8 was an interesting race because most of my tickets were going for the 6, and the 6 ended up being a late scratch. He was the favorite and ended up scratching out right before the race. And so that kind of messed up the boards and threw everything for a loop. Quarter horse did have the winner in the top group, but as I've mentioned before, I don't really do much with those. So overall, not a great day picking horizontally. Vertically, I did a little bit better. You can see I had a couple of trifectas on the board. Trifectas would be represented by all the colors, so red, yellow, and green. I've got one over here. I actually hit the quarter one just fine. Otherwise, it was a lot of kind of around it. I had picks somewhere on the grid. But as I mentioned yesterday in my video, I always look for the tic-tac-toe 3 in a row. So I had the one here. I had him going through 3 in a row. Played him. He was off the board. That was very disappointing. In here, I had the let's see, there's another one right down here. The one, this is the one where the horse just barely held on. He was getting a lot of pressure late from the second place finisher. I believe it was the 6 that was flying. Held on, photo finish. And then here, after the 6 scratched, I pulled from my worksheet and it produced the 7. So if you're using the win place show ladder for tic-tac-toe 3 in a row, you would have gone 2 for 3 on today's card. So that's at least a positive there, even though the results weren't that great. Let's go ahead and let's jump into then today's card. And what I want to do for Wednesday's card is I want to do something a little different. And that is I really want to focus on the strikes that I use to eliminate horses and really show you what those look like. I've got 2 strikes on this horse and 3 strikes on this horse. And so I'm going to use today to just kind of share with you a little bit more about what those strikes are for me, and then help use that to kind of show you where I arrived at my picks. I did not put as much into which picks I think are much better, much worse. I just kind of put them in order in which I prefer them. So let's go ahead and let's jump into it. So let's start with this guy right here. We're going to start in race 1, 6 furlongs claiming. I am going to still operate under the assumption that we want to be sort of a early presser here, kind of in that stalking position, and that we don't want to be coming from the back. So here you can see I've actually listed out all the strikes today. So this horse has a jockey or trainer that's under 10%, is picking up 5 more pounds than he ran in his last race. One of the things that I always like to look at when I have that is you can see the horse is running today with 122. And when I go back and I look at all the times that he ran with 122 or more, as I look here, there's no victories. 121 he won, but then 122 again he was second. So I'm noticing that that's a really big thing for him. He was not in the money in his last 3 starts, and he's winless in his last 5. So those are the 4 strikes. I'm not using him. Again, a jockey trainer below 10%. This horse lost 2 or more positions in his last race, which I don't like to see. He has not had 3 workouts or a race within the last 30 days. He's close, but not quite. And he is winless in his last 5. That's 4 strikes. I won't use him. This horse has a positive run style. He has not had a workout or a race in the last 30 days. He has not had a win in the last 5. That's 2 strikes, but I'm still going to use him as an A horse because of where he came out in my matrix, in my T3 grid. This horse looking really good. He's got a positive run style. He has only had he only has a 3 workout strike. So he gets 1 strike. It says B here. I'm probably going to use him in more of an A capacity, just given that. With the number 5, I've got a good run style, but I've got a poor jockey trainer. You can see his jockey is sitting at just 10%, 5% on the meat. 2 furlongs. So this race, he is cutting back 2 furlongs or more from his last race, which I think just shows that the horseman doesn't really know exactly where they want. I know sometimes a mile 70, you're just putting a little conditioning into him. But if it's anything over 2 furlongs, that registers. And then 3 workouts within the last 30 days, he does not have and does not have a race either. So gets that strike as well. 3 strikes, not using. And then positive run style, no strikes, A grade on that horse. So I actually think if I were going to put this together, it would probably look more like this. I really like this 6 horse here. I like that he's going to have some early speed, but can still be tactical. No strikes against. Should be able to run his best race. So I'm probably going to go with the 6 and 3-4, and then I'll use the 1 underneath as sort of a kind of a saver player here. Race number 2. Now we're coming in. You can see I've got a run style strike and winless in the last 5. That's a 2 C grade for him. 2 positions lost in the last race. You can see he went from 3rd to 6th. He's only got 1 strike, and that's an A grade. He was tiring late, but hopefully today he can hold on. A little nervous about that E type, though. This horse, positive run style, Mr. Quality, 2 furlong. He has some pace issues. This strike is calculated based on general running styles of the races and how their pace numbers match up. So I look at these early pace and late pace figures, and it calculates to basically see if they're going to be able to keep up. The other issue is this horse has been off for 90 or more days. And has a win percentage less than 15 with the trainer coming off of that layoff. So a lot of things up against this horse here. I gave him a 3, which based on where he showed up in the matrix, that's going to be a letter grade of a B. 3 strikes and a B. This horse, a good run style. The only thing counting against this horse is he's not run to the race par yet. So that's 1 strike, but he's still going to get an A grade. This horse has a bad run style, 7 strikes. You can see we've got a pace issue coming off the layoff with only 12%. Hasn't been in the money in the last 3. Bad run style. Has not had 3 workouts or a race in the last 30 days. Is winless in the last 5 and hasn't hit par. So as much as Joe Ramos has been riding very well lately, 7 strikes, just a little bit too much for me. Boca Boy E2, 3 since the last workout, 3 workouts in the last month. Has not had them. Winless in the last 5 and par. 3 strikes, C letter grade. I kind of trimmed things down a little bit. I really like this 2 Flower Pecker. Again, I'm just a little nervous about that early pace. I probably move the 4 up onto that line as well. Mr. Quality, I kind of like here. And then I'd probably use the 1, which is Hurricane Highway. I'd use him deeper down the ticket. Maybe not even use at 5 to 2. Don't think there's a lot of value there. Moving on to race number 3, we're going a mile on the turf. This is where you've typically been benefited by late running style. 2 furlong issue here. Now, this time we're actually stretching out 2 furlongs. So sometimes it's cut back, sometimes it's stretching out. Just don't like the ability to carry that speed. Run style and has not run to par. That is a 3 strike, you're out situation for first deputy coming off the rail. In second, we have a poor run style with the pressing type. Jockey trainer 10% or under. 2 furlong change, not in the money in the last 3. Bad run style, hasn't won in 5, and no par. 6 strikes, 30-1. We're going to move on. This horse only has a run style that hasn't been successful. So that is a relatively small number of strikes, only 1. Now here you can see it's listed as a horse that we're not going to use. I will definitely use this horse, get them on side. So I'm going to go ahead and just add that horse right now. Come down to the bottom, make sure. Oh, I've already got him on there. How about that? All right, so let's go back up to 4. So I've got the EP type, which is a cold running style. It has not reached the par. 2 strikes. Marcelina Pedrosa, Van Berg is a 17% trainer. This is one I might think about using here. Sniper Kitten, bad run style, stretching out 2 furlongs, but let's see, is that correct? No, the 2 furlong distinction is actually incorrect on this horse, so I'm not sure why that one came up. I may have had the wrong strike listed for him. He's got an A grade, and certainly seeing that the 2 furlong strike is incorrect makes that all the more important to me. So I'm definitely using that horse, even though he's the favorite. Looks formidable. You've got a layoff horse. Trainer's only 6% coming back. The 3 workouts issue, 2 strikes. You got to be. I like that he's coming from off the pace. Amended, you've got good run style, but poor jockey trainer. I'm really hard on human connections, especially the trainer. I think they get the horse ready, and that concerns me. Winless in the last 5, hasn't hit par. I'm going to pass there. Now, this horse is interesting. Last Chance at Glory has a bad run style, has not won in the last 5, and has not met the par yet. 3 strikes. But I would say that if this race comes onto dirt, this run style is no longer a cold running style. So at that point, then that would come off, and this horse might be a much bigger player. And so that's one thing that I do is I always go in and adjust the surface, and that will flip the strikes over. Blue Ridge Mountain is the main track only that I like. Poor run style, but again, if we switch to dirt, that will change. And then he has a poor breeder rating. So if you're in the top 3 and you don't have a breeding rating for the surface that's in the top 3, then or within within 5 points of the top breed rating, then you get this strike. Now that's using a turf rating because this is a turf race. If we flip this to the dirt, he'll get compared with his turf rating, and that strike very well could come off. So if it goes to the dirt, I really like Blue Ridge Mountain. This horse here, not in the money, has not hit the par. 2 strikes, you're out. So we've got this again. If this goes on to the dirt, which is the only time this guy would come in, I would definitely move him up. So I'm liking the 5, and then given that he's such a heavy favorite, I would probably just go here with the 5. If it goes to the dirt, I'd sit on the 9. But other than that, I mean, I'm probably not going to use a lot just because I don't have a lot of value if either one of those horses wins. I think it's going to be a pretty formful day. I've said that before and been wrong, but nevertheless, that's kind of the vibe I'm getting. So I'm going to go 5-9 up on top. I'll take 6-3 more underneath. And again, this just depends on which surface we're running this race on. Race number 4, going a mile on the dirt. I've got a lot of issues with this first one. Pace issues, not in the money in the last 3. PP stands for Prime Power. This horse is currently in a race where the prime power separators are very small. So prime power can be a great indicator as to how a horse will run. You can see this horse has the best one, but there's not that much separation. I mean, the 6th place horse is only like 3 points lower. So given that, it's not good value to have a favorite with a prime power so close to everybody else. 3 workouts, par, 5 strikes, you're out. Pace, par, 2 strikes, C. Pace, prime power, and par. Again, you're going to see that on the top 3. This is 3 strikes and a B. I actually really like this horse, even though he's supposed to rate out at a B. I've seen this horse run a lot. He gets Thomas Pompel for Randy Klopp. I think this horse can be tough to beat in this spot. Number 4, Jockey Trainer. You've got pace issues in the money and has not reached the par. I'm going to toss him. Rhett Thomas, good run style, gains 5 pounds here. Again, we look at that 122. Okay, I've got 124s, 124s, 126, 122. So I'm looking at all those different races that he ran there, and I'm looking, oh, the only race he won, he actually had the bug 117. So that tells me this is probably not going to be a good spot for him. I'm going to go ahead and take a hard pass on the 5, Rhett Thomas. Number 6, Boat Wampum. He's got that S-type I3 par 2. He's a B at 30-1, which I love to see. Santos Sanger aboard. E5, so we've got the good running style, 2 furlong change as we stretch out here to the mile. But speed's been holding okay, so that might be interesting. Pace issues, though, 2 positions lost in that in the last race that was at a mile. So the formula knew to skip this one here and go right down to the last mile race. Hasn't run to the par. Early pace, early pressing 8 for the number 8. Jockey Trainer issues, pace issues, prime power issues, winless in the last 5, and par. Just too many things going on there. So when I come down to the bottom here, I do have the 3. I think the 3 is really dangerous. I'm going to go ahead and just take the 1 off of the board here. If I'm going to use the 4 to 5 on top, and I have him actually as my best bet of the day, despite the strikes, there's a lot of strikes in this race. And then I'm just going to just take some bombs underneath. I'm going to try and go with these 6 and 2. The 6 is the Boat Wampum at 30-1, and then he's a Mischief at 15-1. Just see if I can catch some prices there. Getting into the 5th race here, going 6 furlongs again. So we've got Bayou Cat, winless in the last 5, par, has not yet been hit. He's got 2 strikes, but he still grades out as an A. EP3, so we've got a good run style and no strikes against. This is the horse that I really like in this spot, this number 2. That's what I thought, A grade on him. EP7, we've got layoff issues. Trainers, I think 12%. You can see under there, 2 positions lost in the last viable race, just kind of that speed and fade. The 3 workouts / race, winless in the last 5, par. Too many things going on there. Touch of chili pepper, Jockey Trainer issues, in the money, has not been in the money in the last 3 races, winless in the last 5, and has not reached par. That's 4 strikes. You've got a cold run style here, pace and run style. This is an interesting one because with only 2 strikes, 3-1, Ramos is hot. I'm tempted. I also noticed that this form line is improving, which is a little bit concerning. But he's also stepping up in class. So I think for the purposes of this, I'm going to try and take a stand against. Number 6, not in the money in the last 3, lost 2 positions in the last race that was viable. Again, it skips these 2 turf events here and just comes right down to this one. Has not reached the par, 3 strikes, you're out. This horse has only not reached the par, 1 strike and a B grade. So I like the 2 the best. He's going to be my first selection. I think the 1 and the 7 both have some chances here, and I would probably have a little bit more separation back to the 5. The 5 is right here with the 2 strike stop hammer time. Again, I'm going to have to decide based on what price he's at, how much I want to use there. Race number 6, we're going with a turf sprint. Early speed is crucial here. 0 strikes, an A, 0 strikes, B. Those are 2 really good things to see. Speed horses, inside rail. I would think that'd be good in this situation. Jockey Trainer, winless in the last 5, 2 strikes, you're out. Early speed, Jockey Trainer issues 1 strike and a B. Lucky Fever, poor run style and hasn't reached the par, 2 strikes. I'm going to pass. I've got enough other options here. Tap and Sway, fine on the run style, no strikes. Now, when I look at this, I see this one's 0. I don't like that. I've got a horse with 0 strikes. I need to have that horse in the number. So I'm going to go ahead and just add him down below here. Going to put the 6 on, and I can kind of readjust as I'm looking. Number 7, good run style, Jockey Trainer issues, 2 furlong, so that big change in distance, layoff, and then 3 workouts, 4 strikes, not going to use. The 8 is Creative Cause, early speed, Jockey Trainer, gains 5 pounds. I've got 122 that he's running today. I see a 123 in which he won. So despite that strike, I don't hold it against him because I know this horse can win with that. So with that being said, I really like this one. It was no strikes I like the 2 and the 8, who both grade out really well. I'm going to use them sort of up in this space here, 2 and 8. And then I like the 6 with no strikes, and the 4 with, I believe the 4 had 1 strike as well. So I'm gonna be spreading around a little bit more in this race. Definitely with the most money going through these horses, probably having some wheels with these on top, and then using these to try and find some price underneath. Moving on to race number 7, a bunch of lightly raced. So you've got 3 workouts, 1 strike. I'm going to use a B grade breeding. So again, we talked about with those maidens or with turf runners, you're going to be looking at how their breeding stacks up. That's the only strike. 1B, 1A. I love that he has a race under him and think he's going to be pretty tough to beat. Sorry, she, 2-year-old fillies here. 3 workouts, breeding strike, 2 strikes is a B. This horse only has the 3 workouts. I don't like that the 30-1 suggests there's not a lot of steam around this horse. I also noticed the trainer does not typically have these horses ready to go first time out, 1 strike and an X. Beyond Justice, jockey trainer, 3 workouts, first time starter percentages aren't great. I'm actually going to go ahead and take that horse down from a C to an X grade. My gal Justice, you've got 4 strikes with horses this lightly raced. That's an automatic toss for me. Sister Justice, pace 3 workout, had a couple chances. I hate seeing a downward trend on that second start. Pace 3 workout, 2 strikes. Again, same thing here, downward trend. I think the 3 is the toughest one here to beat. And then outside of that, I've kind of got the 4. I've got the 3 that I'm already using, and then it's kind of like the 1, 2, and 4. I tossed the 5. I didn't end up liking that, so I'm going to go ahead and just change this 5. I'm going to make the 5 now instead into the 4. That's my last one on, so I'm going to kind of use the 1 and 2 up here, and then I'll use the 4. But I think the 3 is going to be keyed up on everything that I do here. Number 8, race number 8, we're going a mile on the grass, so we're looking for those S types. Has not reached par, only 1. Given an X, but I'm going to go ahead and just kind of punch the 1 in down here. Just kind of add the 1 to the end. We got a lot of entries in here. I want to make sure that I have the 1 on side because I think there's going to be a lot of scratches coming out of this race once we decide if it's going to be on turf or not. Everything looks good for now. Coming late, jockey trainer, 5 pounds. I've got 126. I look at the time he carried 127, and he was 6x8. Not good enough for me, not using. 5 pounds, again, 124. Never carried that much weight before. The most he ever carried before was a 122. He did win there, but now in stakes company, I'm a little skeptical. Has enough other things going. I'll use as an A. But I'm a little nervous about the weight piece of it. I don't put a lot of stake in the weight unless the horse hasn't proven that they can win. So far, the heaviest weight that it's run at in the past performances, it's been able to get the job done. So we'll take it. Late speed, jockey trainer, 2 furlong in the money. We got a laundry list. We're moving on. Early presser, run style's not great. Par is not great. We've got 2 strikes, 30-1. I'm willing to pass on that. I'm usually only going to take a 20 or 30-1 shot if they have 0 or 1 strikes. Early presser, run style, par. Okay. 2 strikes, C grade. We've got another 5-pounder coming late, which I like. The par is the issue. The horse is running 124 at 124, 5th by 6. That's not promising. 123, we were in. So I don't know how much of a break. This might have just been the bad situation. We are stepping up now, though. So that's something to think about. So Bumble of Love, I'll probably use, but I'll use down the ticket. As you can see, 5 strikes here as well. The beauty's tail, only run style is the issue. So this is another one that I would probably want to make sure that I had on sides. Timeless roll. The only thing you have is that it's winless in the last 5, but it's been close. So you definitely want to be using this horse underneath. I need to add the 9 down here. The 10, Timeless Rose, I liked already. Cold Run Style hasn't met the par. That's going to be a problem in a stakes race. Wellington Wonder, 5 pounds, 126. This horse hasn't even come close. 124 was back quite a ways. So 4 strikes, just not good enough. We've got 5 pounds, 126. The horse last ran 126, was back 6. 126 back 10. Seems like it's not going to do it. We've got actually 7 strikes on that horse, so that's not looking good either. 2 strikes, you're out on this. So when it comes down to it, we've got the 3. Um, I don't love that 3 is my A horse, especially with the weight question here, but seems reasonable. I'm definitely going to move some of these other horses up. I really like this 10 horse and think he's got the ability here to make something happen. So I'm going to move them up. Number 6, that was Diamond Solitaire, poor run style, 2 strikes. So I think I'm probably going to go heaviest through that group. I got a lot of just kind of C grades, a lot of average runners. Uh, yeah, I mean, maybe I'll move the 1 up because I'm getting a good price. So I might move the 1 into kind of that next spot. The 1 and the 9 actually kind of more interest me now than the 6 and 7. I think I'm going to be largely probably in there. Sorry, that one kind of looks like a slash. All right, getting to our final thoroughbred race of the day. And again, I don't do the quarters, so this will be the final one we go over. Classy Cowboy, pace, run style par, 3 strikes, C grade, run style par, 2 strikes, not going to use, although I'm a little nervous about Deshaun Parker. So I might come back with a question mark. I don't love that the run style hasn't been effective. Jockey Trainer run style, 3 workout issue, par, 4 strikes, you're out. 5 pounds, we're looking at 126. Horses never put that much weight on. I mean, to me, that's just an automatic toss because you're asking for him to carry a lot of extra. Red Sky at Night, run style par, 2 strikes. Fernando de la Cruz, Brad Cox. I've been burned by that before. I'm going to get this horse on my side here at 12 to 1. Brad Cox at 12 to 1 is never a bad thing. 5 pounds, 126. We've never been there before. At 124, we look disastrous. 5 strikes, you're out. We've got pace, run style, winless in the last 5, par. This is promising here. I like to see that the horse is rounding into shape. Probably one that needs to be used in the verticals, but not going to use here. Run style, par breeding, 3 strikes and an X. Strong Tide ends up being kind of my top rated horse. Expressed has never gotten to the par. When I look at these numbers and I look at these numbers, Express just isn't there. So I'm not going to use Star Sprangled Express. You've got a whole litany of problems. Max Express, 5 pounds, 124. Yeah, again, we're looking at a situation where this horse doesn't have a lot to offer. The only advantage is I'm getting 15 to 1. So yeah, I'm going to move down the ticket, but I think doable. 6 strikes, I'll move on. This horse has never hit the par. Again, we're looking at numbers that are a little bit light. I want to get the 5 in here. That's the one that I kind of liked. I'm going to move the 12 down. I'm worried about that weight that's being carried. 1, 4, and 5. I had the 4 at 4 strikes. Yeah, I'm just not going to use him either. The 1 I can maybe use a little bit. So I think I'm going to end up going 1 and 5. The 9 is really the horse that I want to be all through. Kind of go 4 and 5 up. I'll probably move the 1 down and then take the 12 kind of in here, but I'm probably going to end up going pretty strong through there. So hopefully in going through things this way, you got a chance to see a little bit more about how my strikes actually work and what types of things I look for. Maybe you use some of them. Maybe you thought some of the things I brought up were complete hokum and you want to not use those when doing your handicapping. Whatever works for you, handicapping is extremely individual. And I wish you best of luck on today's Indiana card. Remember, first post is 10 a.m. Eastern. That will be both today and tomorrow's Thursday card. I'll be back with another video on tomorrow's card as well. Again, you can catch me at Handicapping T3 or at bettingnews.com and get a lot of the same information. Good luck today.